Hello students. Now we will continue the insect pest management. In my previous class I have discussed about the pest management, insect pest management, the methods, that is the natural method and the applied method. In natural method we have discussed about the climatic factors, topographic and all that is the natural enemies, etc. And then in the applied method we have discussed about the mechanical method of pest control. Now we will go to the physical control of insect pest. Physical control of insect pest. What is this physical control of insect pest? This is the use of a device which alters them physically. Okay, use of devices which alters them physically or alter their physical environment of pest. Alter the physical environment of the pest. Okay, that is nothing but by manipulating the temperature, humidity, light, okay, present in their environment. If we manipulate them, then they are disturbed, okay, or they will get destroyed or reduced in their population. That is the physical control of insect pests. Now there are different methods here. That is, one is the sun drying. Okay, the one is the sun drying. That is sun drying, that is whenever we have the stored grains, okay, the stored grains, it will be having a many number of pests. If these stored grains are taken out into the sunlight, spreaded, then the most of the pests with the increased sunlight or the temperature, they will get destroyed or run away from those grains. That is the sun drying method. Then in the stored conditions, for example in the godowns, see here, this is the spreading of the grains, that is sun drying. Then another one is in the godowns, okay, in the godowns, if we alter the temperature of that godowns, heat up with the 50 to 70 degrees centigrades, most of the pests are killed, okay, most of the pests are killed, and then the spraying also can be carried out to minimize the growth of the pests. So in the physical, that is sun drying, that stored grains are spreaded on the ground, okay, open space with the sunlight falling on that, which will alter the temperature in the grains, and then the pests will be either destroyed or they will become inactive. The same way, by disinfection of the godowns, that is the godown should be heated up with the 50 to 70 degrees centigrades to kill the pests present inside those godown. There is another method. Physically we have to do the whenever there is a swarms of the pest like a locusts, okay, so the flames are thrown away. The flames are thrown away to reduce these pests in that particular area. That is called as the burning method. Flame throwers are used for these pests like locusts, okay. Then refrigerating, that is the cold storage of the fruits and vegetables, will reduce the pest infection. Is it clear? That is, if we keep these all vegetables or the fruits in the cold storage, there is a minimum pest infections, or there is no pest infections to the vegetables and the fruits. That is called as the refrigeration. Now the use of light, okay, the light traps are used for many pests like a hairy caterpillar or the stem borer. In the fields during the night, the lights are kept in the fields, and these lights attracts the insects, okay, that is the caterpillars and the stem borers. Once they are attracted towards the light, there is a box below that light, they fell to that in that box, and those is collected and then destroyed. Those are called as the light method of reducing this one. Now after physical, that is the cultural method, okay, cultural method of insect pest control. That is nothing but manipulation of cultural practices. Now whatever the farmers do, the cultural practices like plowing, harvesting, manuring, etc., these should be little bit altered, or they should be manipulated so that the pest damage should be reduced, called now what are these includes? That is the crop rotation, okay, crop rotation. That is, for example, if we are putting the cabbage, okay, if we are putting the cabbage in the field, those cabbages should be rotated, that once if we put the cabbage, we should not continue with those cabbage, that is the cruciferous crops itself. okay, we should alter with the cruciferous crops with the non-cruciferous crops. For example, the diamond-back moth on cabbage, okay, diamond moth on cabbage can be controlled, okay, by crop rotation. Okay, these are the cabbage diamond-back moths which infect the cabbage plants. Now, if we rotate, if we don't put the cabbage in the next, that is the season, this life cycle will be, the chain of those worms will be broken. Okay, the chains will be broken and their population will get reduced. That is called as the crop rotation. That is, the cruciferous crops should be altered with the non-cruciferous crops, so that their life cycle or the life cycle chain should be broken, and that is what the crop rotation. Now, plowing in the field, okay, plowing in the field, that is, deep plowing in the field exposes the hidden pupae or the egg stages of insect and thus get killed. Is it clear? Plowing methods, that is, we should plow the field deeply so that whatever the eggs or the pupae which are present in the soil will get exposed. When they get exposed, they will get killed. Earthing up, okay, earthing up, that is the digging. Sugar cane early shoot borers, okay, for example, sugar cane early shoot borers, potato tuber moth can be controlled by timely earthing up in the field. This prevents insects to lay their eggs. Most of these pests lay their eggs in the soil, okay, that may be shoot borers or maybe a tuber moth. So, if we earth up, if we dig up in the field, earth up, okay, remove the soils, what will happen? These all will be exposed to the sunlight. When they are exposed to these lights, they will get killed, okay, they will get killed. That is what called as the earthing up. Timely earthing up prevents the pest population. Is it clear? Then destruction of crop residue. Destruction of crop residue. Once the crop is harvested, okay, once the crop is harvested, the crop, those residues should be destroyed. Those residues should be destroyed because the pupae of insects remains inside these crop residues. Because the pupae of insects remains inside these crop residues. So, most of the farmers burn up these crop residues to kill the pests. Okay. So, that is what the destruction of the crop residues to remove the pupae. Now, trap cropping, okay, trap cropping is one of the physical method here, that is the very important method to trap the pests. The two crops of the same family like cabbage, cauliflower, cotton, okra can be grown together, and after attack of pests, a minor crop is removed, which is a trap. See here in this image I will show you, there are two side cash crops are there, okay, two side cash crop is there, and in between them there is a trap crop. Now, this trap crop attracts or lures the pest, okay, they attract or lure the pest. So, this trap crop is completely infected with these pests, but they are not getting affected, the cash crop is completely safe. Once they attack here, those crops can be removed, okay, that trap crops can be removed, and the cash crop or the economic important crops can be saved by this. Okay. So, there is a turnip as a trap crop to protect a cabbages from yellow margined leaf beetles. Yellow margined leaf beetles, is it clear? So, turnip crop yellow margined. Okay. So, that is what here the trap crop is placed between the two cash crops, and the trap crop gets infected with this pest, and once it is infected, that is removed, and the whatever the important crops we have, that is saved or that can be protected. Now, there is another one that is called as the resistant varieties. Resistant varieties, that is the varieties of the crops which resist the infection of the pest. Okay. They particularly pest can be grown to avoid this crop damage. Sowing of the crop varieties which are resistant to particular pest only. Now, see here, that is the plants are made in such a way that they disturb the pests. Okay. When they come for the feeding, they get irritated, and they can't feed on those crops. So, such a crops we call it as the sowing crop varieties with the disease resistant. Is it clear? With the disease resistant, and then the crops can be used. Then the balanced use of the fertilizers. Balanced use of fertilizers. Usually the nitrogen fertilizer increases the pest attack. Nitrogen fertilizer increases the pest attack, whereas the potassic, absorbed form of the potassium, okay, potassic, that is the absorbed form of the potassium fertilizer, make the plant more resistant from the pests, okay. If you use the potassic fertilizer, it will give the more resistance to the plants. Is it clear? So that's the balanced use of the fertilizer should be carried out. Now what are the advantages and disadvantages here? That is, we are using same cultural practices, no extra cost is required here. The farmer is using the same one with the timely practices. Is it clear? So there is no extra cost. This method is safe for the application. There is no side effects for this. Disadvantage is that it is effective for single pest only. Okay, multiple pests cannot be controlled here. There are no visible results observed here. Okay, and this method is not so effective in epidemic condition. If it is in the large scale, okay, infected, then this is not effective in this. Okay. Now, legal control. Legal control. Legal control means what? The control of the pest by the human activities through legislation, by the law. Okay, by the law. How the pests are controlled by the law? Usually, in the earlier days, there was no restriction for the transport of the plants and animals from one country to the another country, or from one region to the another region. Now, because of this transport from one region to another region, there is also transfer of the pest from with these plants and animals, and this causes the epidemic. This causes the epidemic. When this awareness has come, that evolved a legal method of controlling the pest. So there were acts has been made to transfer the plants from one region to another region, or the animals, or the, that is, so that the pest should not be transferred from one country to the another country and should not result into the epidemic. So the control of the pest, okay, by the making of the law, okay, that is with the legislation, is called as legal control of pest. Now, chemical control. Chemical control, the control operation involving the destruction of pests based on chemical, their actions, properties, is called as chemical control. That is nothing but the use of the chemicals to control the population of a pest, or to kill the pests, okay, by the use of the chemicals, is called as the chemical method of pest control. The main thing which is used in the chemical control is insecticides. Okay, insecticide. What is this insecticide? Any chemical substance that kills the insects due to their properties, okay, due to their properties, is called as insecticides. A chemical substance that prevents the growth, or that kills the insects, is called as insecticides. Now, what should be the quality of these insecticides? That is, should be very potent against pest even at lower doses. Means what? We should not be in a position to use a large quantity of these chemical substances, and if we use in the large quantities, it will damage the other crops also, as well as it will disturb the environment also. So the quality of the insecticide in such a way that it should be more effective in a less dose. Is it clear? Should not endanger human health, domestic animals and plants. We should take care that during the use of the insecticides, it should not affect to the human beings present around, okay, and the domestic animals and the other plants which are inhabited in the surrounding area. Is it clear? So that property should be present in the insecticide, that it should not endanger the human health, domestic animals, and as well as the plants. Then should break down into harmless compounds after sometimes when used. See, when we are using the insecticides, that properties of that insecticide should not be present for a longer duration. It should break down its chemical compounds. Is it clear? Then it should be broken down into the harmless compounds. It should be broken down into the harmless compounds. Then it should be easy for operation. Easy for operation should spread uniformly, having a better adhesiveness, then should be cheap in manufacture. The farmer should not suffer with the purchases of these insecticides because of its cost. So, it should be very cheap enough. Then they should be easily available in the market, should not struggle for getting these insecticides, and should have better compatibility with the other materials. Means what? It should match up very friendly with the other materials. Is it clear? So, that is the qualities of the insecticides. Then the formulation of the insecticides, it should be, can be used in the form of dust. The farm should be dusted with the powder like, or it should be granules or wettable powders, or can be used in the form of solutions, emulsified concentrations, concentrated insecticide liquid, fumigants, okay, in the form of fumigants, or insecticide fertilizer mixture. That is, the insecticide should be mixed with the fertilizer and then can be made one formulation and can use it. Now, fumigation is another one of the chemical method where the poisonous gases are released in the agricultural field or in the godowns, which will kill the insects, okay, which will kill the insects, and that is called as the fumigants. See here, that is the poisonous gas should be released from one device, okay, then that gas will either make the pest leave that place or they are killed, is it clear, by that poisonous gas, and that is called as the fumigants. Then the another one is the insect attractants, insect attractants. Now, these are the made up of a compounds which like a pheromones, you know pheromones, is it clear? Plant volatiles, flower oils, sugars and proteins. These mimic insect attraction system which is found in the nature. So, when these are placed in the agricultural fields, okay, that may be a pheromones, okay, or that is the plant volatiles or the flower oils, etc. These the compounds or these things will attract the insects, they will attract the insects, and once they are attracted, they are trapped, okay, they are trapped at the base, okay, that the pheromones and all are used as a bait. So, they will get attracted. Usually the pheromones, they attract for the mating purpose, etc. In a particular season, if you place them, that is the sexual attraction of the insects happens. So, these pheromones are used as a bait, and then because of that lure, they come towards that attractant, and once they come, they fall into that, the chloroform container is there. With that, they will get killed or they will be destroyed. Is it clear? So, that is what the insect attractants.